Welcome everyone to another Up to the Time presentation. Today we'll be looking at one-point perspective drawing. But before we do that, let me briefly identify some terms that we will be using today and let me explain them to our viewers at home. So we'll be using horizontal line. We'll be using the term vanishing point, and we'll be using the term picture plane. Now, what do these mean? The horizontal line. A horizontal line in perspective drawing is directly opposite the viewer's eye and often implied. That represents objects infinitely far away and determines the angle or perspective from which the viewer sees the work. The vanishing point. The vanishing point is where all parallel lines intersect and is always on the horizontal line. Using the example of a straight road clearly illustrates what this means. Imagine a street with a consistent width that stretches into the distance. If you look directly at the street from above, both sides are parallel lines. Picture plane. For example, if you are looking to a building that is in front of you and your eyesight is entirely horizontal, then the picture plane is perpendicular to the ground and to the axis of your sight. Now, I would like to explain that there are three different perspective drawings. There's a 1-point perspective, 2-point, and 3-point perspective. This is a 1-point perspective where everything goes to the center, as you probably would understand. As the name suggests, 1 point, everything goes to that point. And this is what happens when you stand up and you look down the street. Everything goes to that 1 point, and that 1 point is called the vanishing point. All right, now let's look at another example. This would be a 2-point perspective here. So this in the corner is 1 point. These lines are going to, and then this will be another point in the corner. So all these lines are going to either 1 point or 2 points. So this is a 2-point perspective drawing. Now let's look at a 3-point perspective. This would be a 3-point perspective drawing. This is the 1 point, 2 point, and 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Let's look at the drawing. It goes down here to the 3rd point. Let me put these in a different color. These are in green, and these will be in blue. All right. So those are the different perspectives that a person can use while creating a drawing. 1 point, 2 point, and 3-point perspectives. Now, let us go over to the question that we will be looking at today, and we will see where these terms come into play. So this is a question that was taken from a past CXC paper. We don't do questions like these anymore. This is a solid geometry question, but this question is very important because students can do a question like this for their portfolio. So let's read the question. Figure 4 shows the elevation and plan of a channel block with the location of the picture plane, ground line, center line of vision, sight point, vanishing point, and horizontal line for the preparation of a 1-point perspective view of the channel block. So let's look at this. We can see here, let me take out my annotation, and I would be using red. Yeah. So let's look at this and analyze this drawing. That word picture plane comes in, which is here. The word horizontal line, or the horizon line, ground line, and these are the terms that we just defined. and also the vanishing point. And also we looked at the sight point. So those are the terms we'll be trying to relate to this joint and get a better understanding of it. So what's the first thing that we need to do? Well, this joint up here, which is the top joint, is the plan joint. So this is our plan. That's the first thing we can look at while analyzing this. So put plan there. And then this down here, this is my front elevation up. So just put F, LE. That's front elevation, right? Now, let's look at something that we see. You see that these lines, they're all on some line. So this is resting on a picture plane, and this is resting on a ground plane here. And in between them is a horizontal or a horizon line, right? So this horizon line is somewhere between the picture plane and the ground line. The drawing actually gives us some valid information to help us. So when we are setting this up, we can draw the ground plane, or we can draw this elevation, and then we can offset from the ground line up a distance of 80 mil to get the horizon line. So let's clear that. Now, what about this sight point here? This sight point is approximately 60 millimeters to the left of the object, and also located 40 millimeters down from the picture plane. That is how we find this sight point. All right. But let us look at an example that I have done before to help me explain how all of these lines, how all these points and all these planes come together when we're actually trying to find the 1-point perspective. So imagine that we have everything set up. What we do need to set up is the sight. Let's see, hold on, let me go here. What we do need to set up is a sight point. We have a sight point on both drawings. They only gave us the sight point on the picture plane on the front drawing here. This is what I mean. The sight point is only seen here on this drawing as it relates to everything above here. But we need a sight point somewhere down here on this drawing as it relates to here. All right? No, sorry, excuse me. This sight point is transferred from this point down to this drawing here so that it can relate to this drawing. Seems a bit complicated, but let me explain this now. So the first thing, let's establish where our sight point would be. They tell us that our sight point is 40 down and 60 across. So it's from this point here. This point can also be found at this joint down here. So let us go 40 down and 60 across. So our sight point is somewhere here. All right. That is our sight point there. From our sight point now, I'm going to use a different color to represent what's going to take place next. So from our sight point, we need to connect lines to each point on the plan. So these are the points here. I'm just going to touch them so that we can see. I'm going to connect lines from here down to the sight point, like that. So that's the next step, right? Then, after that step, we need to connect these points here, which I'm going to now put in green. These edges, we need to connect these to the vanishing point over here. Right? So the first thing is, let me write a note here. Lines in blue. First, step one. Connect lines from the sight point to the picture to the plan. Step two, connect lines from the front elevation to the vanishing point. All right. So those are your two main steps. Now, after that, what happens to the lines connected from the sight point to the plan? This is an important step. So I will put this now in brown. This is the third step. Let me just come out of this and move this note somewhere down here where we all can see it. Right? Yeah. Or should I put it here? Should probably put it here. Yeah. Now, let's connect these lines. So when the lines pass the picture plane, so I'm going to draw this line here in green. I should probably use another color. Yeah, use purple. So when the lines pass the picture plane here, they all create a point. This is a point. That is a point. And these are points, etc., etc. Let's use this point here. This line comes directly down, perpendicular to the picture plane. And where it intersects here, that there is our first point in building this perspective joint, this 1-point perspective to be more exact. Let's establish this corner here, and we pull this down. So this will cross in somewhere here, right? And let me just draw this shape now. That would take on a shape like that. And that would be the plan face that we have projected. So that face would actually be this face up here. Right? I mean, just put it in a square so that you'll be able to understand that there, right? It's this here, it's down here. All right. Those two are the same. So that is the general strategy. So now that I've explained that, I'm going to put the step 3 here so that we all understand step 3. Step 3, draw perpendicular lines from the intersections from here the blue lines touch the picture plane. So we draw perpendicular lines down. From where the blue lines touch the picture plane. And these lines go down and they intersect with the lines going to the vanishing point, and where they create points, those are the locations of your points to create the 1-point perspective. So now I've explained that, I think it would be much easier if I just start drawing this now. So let me clear all of this and let me start drawing. See, can I bring this over here? No, I don't think I can move it. Hey, I can move it. Yeah, great. So I'm actually Working with a different layout today, as most of you would know. Normally, I actually split my screen, but I am more inclined to work like this rather than split the screen, right? So I'm going to put the notes up here, and I think we can start. So what's the first thing I'm going to do? The first thing I'm going to do is to actually set up the drawing, right? And let's see how we're going to set up the drawing. I'm going to draw the horizontal line. Now I'm actually going to draw a line into the picture plane, and I'm going to start creating my plan. So that is the picture plane. Let's create this plan. So this is 25 up here. Let's draw a line here to start. That is 20 across. So I'm going to offset this line 20 across. Good. And the full feet, the full length is 62. 62. Offset that 62. Offset 25 up. So I'm offsetting all my lines, and then I'm going to trim. Okay, so I already got my 25 up currently. So I need to offset my 15 up. Good. So I think I got everything here. Now I can trim. Cool. So far, so good. Let me just do some measuring. Make sure that is 62. That is 25. And that there is 15. Is this last one 20? Yep, that is 20. So this is drawn properly. Now let me offset 6 in so that I can get these hidden lines. These are the hidden lines now, so I'm just going to pull this down. And I'm going to now put this into the hidden layer. So seeing that I have some hidden lines over here, I'm just going to match drop and just join over here. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, what's the next thing that I need to do? I'm going to put this all into outline. Okay, so it's in outline and it's on the picture plane. And this is the plan. The next thing now that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the ground. What happens on the ground line? So I'm going to project this line down here. I can just create a line randomly down here. And just project these lines down so that I make sure all of my joints line up. So the same principles of orthographic projection will be used here. Now, let's follow these instructions. I'm going to offset up 32. Offset up 32. 32. Offset up again 20. 20. Cool. And I think I can trim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break some of these lines so that I can still retain these lines as construction lines. Now I'm going to put the figure into an outline layer, this stage. Okay, so that there is the shell of the front elevation. Now I need to insert the holes. The offsets for those are 6 millimeters all around. Now I'm going to fill it, close these lines, and to do some edits. Okay, so I've completed the front elevation now and my plan. Now, what is the next thing that I'm going to do? I'm going to set up the horizontal line. And the horizontal line is 80 mil up from the ground line. So I'm going to offset 80 up. That's my horizontal line. I'm going to keep that as a construction line. Now, after that, what do I need to do? Now, I need to offset down 40. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the distance between my horizontal line or my horizon line and my picture plane 40. So I'm going to offset this up 40. So what I'm essentially going to do is I'm going to just move this joint here and then bring everything down to there. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's move that. Yeah. So now let's locate where this is. Where is my vanishing point? My vanishing point, then we know that it is an offset. Let me just draw some lines to indicate what's going on here. I'm going to offset a distance across from there to there. And now I've already offset in my 40. So I already have my 40 down. Now I need to go across and find my 60 so that I will be able to locate my vanishing point somewhere around here. Okay, let's go back to the drawing now. Offset 60. Let me place a point there so that we can identify. Why didn't my point show? I need to set up my point settings. Okay, you can all see my point now. And that first point is going to be my vanishing point. Okay, that is my vanishing point right there. Now I have to go and find my, so I'm going to extend this line down, all the way down. And from here, I am going to find my sight point. I'm going to come here. So how am I going to find my sight point now? So the sight point is placed here. But I'm going to use that as my vanishing point because, like I said, my sight point needs to be transferred down here. So I'm going to take the same information and use it and set it up down here. So I can get my sight point behind, under the ground line. So that will come somewhere around here. Okay. So let's just go. Let's work this out. All set. 40 down. This is my point. Good. We clearly join it. All right. So I don't even need this line here, just because I have my point already there set up. Now, what should I do? I am going to label these. So instead of me, I'm just going to grab the labels from here and copy them over to save time. All right. That's vanishing point and sight point. It's the next thing that needs to be labeled. This is the plan here. And this is the picture plane. That's our plan. That's our picture plane. And this down here is really the elevations. Let's call it front elevation for now. But we're going to transform this into the 1-point perspective. All right. So far, so good. I'm just going to give myself a little more room. I'm moving this. Cool. So now I can see everything. Move it down to here as well. Cool. I think we're all ready to solve this now. Now, what is the next step? We need to send lines from our sight point, which is down here, right from down here up to these points here. So I think it is best that I label those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those 5 points. So I'm going to label them so that we can always locate them when we are creating the perspective joint. All right, so one text. I could just grab the note from here. That should probably be easier. We'll just put that there. Let me call that. That would be B. But if that's B, then it should be B. A, B, C, D, B. Just put that F for now. So let us send lines up to those points from the sight point. A, and B, oops, and B, there, to C, D, E, and F, respectively. All right. Now, these are going to be points, but I don't think what's going to repeat down here realistically. We know where A is from this joint. So A is going to repeat and perhaps F, right? So now we are going to send points over from here to the vanishing point. Same thing from these corners to the vanishing point. The first thing. All right. So we have connected the sight point to the plan. We have connected the front elevation to the vanishing point. Now, what is the next thing to do? I'm going to change my construction lines to hatch here now, so that, or perhaps I'm going to put it as dimensions, so that we can see my next step clearly. Now I'm going to start with B, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do at B. I'm going to find this point, and I'm just going to project it down 90 degrees until it intersects here, right? And this is the point that I'm looking for. So I'm going to put a point there. POI to bring the point menu. And let's say the point here. That there is my point B. Right? So I can even move B and put B there. That is where B is. So if B is there, we then know that A has to be here at the start. So let's go around and find C now. Again, we track the line to where it stops and it intersects the picture plane line, and then we pull down. So we know this is C here, right? Because we do know that the Relationship between B and C is a straight line which has to be parallel with this line here at A. So we can start inserting that by doing this. We can connect them just like that. Let's see what else we can put in. Let's go and find point E. Come here, follow the line to the picture plane, and then we project it down. And let's see where E would be. Okay, so we know that this is going to be E here. Yeah, so we can put a point here. Call that E. So let's find D now. You know, I skipped D, but I did that purposely so I will get an understanding of where D can't be by a process of elimination. So I'm going to pull down this line here and it intersects right here. So that is where my point D is. I'll place a point. And then we'll both bring down D. Snap it in there. So hold on, let me just make sure that D is positioned properly. But this gets kind of tricky sometimes. Look over here and see what went wrong or what I did. Oh, okay, I understand what's happening. This. All right, let's move on now. So let's find where. Okay, so I think we got it. We pretty much have it. We got A, B, C. We know where C is. We know where D is. And stuff like that. But what we have here, and we know this would be F. This would be point F here. It should be right here. Okay, so let us now trim some of these lines. You know, along with me. There are some lines here we can put on the inside, but there's a slight problem. So let me consult this drawing and see where point D is, which is D here. And not coming from that line, so here with that. Okay. Ah, snap. I see what happened. Let's see what. This still comes down. Right. So I'm going to match drop this to there, to there, to there. And by now, most people should be seeing the 1 point perspective as it reveals itself. Let me just outline, study some lines. Mhm. Okay, so far so good. Cleaned all the lines. And you know what? I think I'm going to leave these lines here as the evidence. So I'm going to connect them to the points now again. But I had to get the shape properly first. Now there are some lines that I can put in, these hidden lines, to add more interest to the perspective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use hatch for these hidden lines, and I'm going to turn off my construction lines. Yeah, but by doing that, okay, I'm going to transfer some important things to another layer. Let's put this onto the text layer. That's onto the text layer. Put all that information onto the text layer. And now I'm going to turn off the construction layer. Brilliant. So we can go from my vanishing point to these points here. And there are 3 points I'm going to be going to. I'm not going to label these. Down here. So it's down here. So it's down here. Yeah, pull somewhere. Right, now pull these from here and go over to the vanishing point. Pull these from here to the vanishing point. So this one goes here. We could connect that to that. Yep. That would also come down and happen down here too. So that connects to that. Yep. We just do it. Whatever done. For me, okay, think about all the people. And now I'm going to put this into the hidden layer. I'm dropping all of this. What's happening on the inside of the shield. I don't think all these lines are going to be represented using the hidden there. But for right now, just leave it there. You know, let me clean it up. Right. Clean, 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 clean. Yeah. So let's see what's happening over here on this side. Still here. Remember that this intersects here, so that's going to go across here. And here that goes from, that should look to there, and that goes around back to the connection is made. Okay, was quiet there for a moment because I was thinking and trying to work while I was thinking. I think we got everything in now. Again, there's certain bits that would be seen and certain bits that would be represented as hidden. This is the last bit here. And from here, I think that we can call it a day with this joint. Yeah. So I think I have finished the 1-point perspective at this stage. I'm going to turn on the construction layers. So this is the 1-point perspective. I'm going to change the word front elevation / 1 point front elevation 1 point perspective. Yeah. That's it there. So let me see. Am I missing anything from here? Yes. What am I missing? I need the dimension. And then I'm going to recap what we did today. So I always mention to my students that you need 3 things, and you always must remember 3 things in this subject of technical drawing. The first is you need to draw, because you're actually communicating by drawing. So that's the most basic thing. The second thing is you need to label what you've drawn so that people will be able to understand. And then the last thing is you need the dimension, which is a form of labeling using numbers so that people would be able to build from your drawing. It's not all the time that your drawing would just be a plain drawing. At some stage, you might have to build from your drawing. So get into the habit of creating a good dimension system. Right? Make the dimensions look neat and clear, and put them in a place where people can read them. It wouldn't create a problem for anyone to read your dimensions. All right. So I think I have finished this. I'm just going to look at the example over here and see what I missed. Okay, see what I can do differently. I can bring the note vanishing point over to this side. And what else do I need to do? I think this is a wrap. Oh, this word ground line. This needs to come over. So the ground line is here. I think everyone knew that by now. This is the ground line. And again, I don't want it to be going through any lines. So I'm just going to move the title to the left. Let me make my lines here. Stop it. Let's pull this up. All right. So this brings us to the end of this presentation. What did we do today? Today we looked at a CXC question from solid geometry, where the question asks us to create a one-point perspective. We were supposed to copy the given layout as shown and construct a one-point perspective view of the channel block. We did that over here to the left. How did we do that? First, we created the elevations. We started off with the plan. Let me just get my marker out. We started off with the plan here. We did that. Then we came down and we generated the front elevation from the plan by sending these lines down. Right? That's what was done first and second. Then thirdly, we located where the vanishing point is and the sight point. Once we located those two points, we then connected the plan to the sight point. These points here on the plan that I have labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, we connected those to the sight point. Then after that, what did we do? We connected the front elevation to the vanishing point. I'm going over here. Connected those points that are on the front elevation that we are going to be using to the vanishing point. Then from there, the last thing that we did is we projected lines from the picture plane downward. I don't think we can see that line. So let me just give you another color. We projected lines from the picture plane downward here. And where they interacted with the vanishing point lines, created the points for us to plot our one-point perspective. So that's what we did. All right. Before I end off this video, I want to just show everyone some other perspective drawings that I've been working on here that you can see. I create a perspective of a cone, and I started to create one here for this front, for this hexagon. It didn't quite go too well, but I know what went wrong. And I'm just showing you all different perspective drawings that you can use to challenge yourself while practicing. Anyway.